The new villain for Mortal Kombat 1 has been confirmed, along with a bunch of new story details that have players very excited. And finally, the creator of Mortal Kombat confirms there's going to be a big twist reveal coming. And I don't know about any of you, but I think I know what this twist is gonna be, so keep watching. All that and more discussed in today's video, because another day means more Mortal Kombat 1 news. So if you want to stay up to date on all things Mortal Kombat, then make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. And then after watching, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like down below. It really does help my channel out a ton. And without any further ado, let's begin. Mortal Kombat 1 is confirmed to have a story mode part 2. That's right, we're getting Aftermath, baby, but this time it's for Mortal Kombat 1. The creator of Mortal Kombat himself, Ed Boon, has confirmed this. However, on top of that, there's new details to consider that can give us a good idea of what exactly is going to happen in part 2 of Mortal Kombat 1. So that's what today's video is all about. I want to explain and discuss all the details we know about Story Mode Part 2 so far. And as you know, I love making these videos interactive, so I want to know your feedback as well in the comments section down below. First up, let's talk about the big bad villain. Before Mortal Kombat 1 dropped, a lot of people thought for sure that Onaga was going to be the big twist reveal at the end of the game. However, unfortunately, this turned out to not be true, but thankfully we at least get Onaga in Reiko's arcade ladder ending, so I suppose that's something. Maybe at some point Onaga can return, but it's not going to be in the main story. Instead, the twist villain we got at the end of Mortal Kombat 1 was Titan Havoc. And believe it or not, the writer of Mortal Kombat 1 himself has confirmed that this is canon, which means the main villain for Story Mode Part 2 is very likely going to be Titan Havoc. It's been confirmed by the writer himself. However, there is one big issue with this statement. As my buddy the Fourth Snake would point out, NetherRealm has a bad habit of dropping their main villains right away in the sequel. For example, Shinnok was teased at the end of Mortal Kombat 9, so everybody assumed he'd be the main villain in Mortal Kombat X, but then poof, he's gone by chapter 2, right? He's already out of the picture, and yeah, he comes back at the end, but he's gone for most of the story mode. And then at the end of Mortal Kombat X, we got even more teasers. Evil Liu Kang and Kitana are rulers of the Netherrealm, so what are they gonna be doing, right? They're gonna be the big bads. And on top of that, we have Dark Raiden. He's finally back from the 3D era. What's he gonna do in the next game? Turns out not much. For any of these characters, Evil Kitana and Liu Kang are defeated by chapter 2, and then in chapter 2, Dark Raiden goes poof and is just gone from the story mode. And as a result, I'm a bit nervous for Titan Havoc, because he could also go poof right away at the start of Story Mode Part 2 and then get replaced by a different big bad villain, a different new evil threat. It turns out the twist villain is Natara. That's right, Megan Fox has taken over the Mortal Kombat realm and is going to replace all of your favorite characters with terrible celebrity cameos. I'm just kidding. However, this does segue nicely into my next topic, the big twist reveal. Ed Boon himself not only confirmed that Story Mode Part 2 is coming, but he also confirmed we're gonna get a big twist reveal as well. And for me personally, I think this twist reveal is going to be the return of a fan favorite character, like Noob Saibot, or Jade, or maybe even a big villain reveal like Onaga. I will be shocked if Onaga does not show up in a cutscene for Mortal Kombat 1 at some point. However, what I find the most interesting is some people believe this big reveal does not have anything to do with story mode, and Ed Boon just meant on top of the new story, we're also getting a big reveal. Which means this could be anything, right? It could even be a new game mode. Maybe we're finally going to get a fully realized tag team mode in Mortal Kombat 1. That would certainly be really cool and get me excited, but I think they're actually going to save tag team for Mortal Kombat 2. Get it? Like 2 as in 2v2 tag team? But let me know in the comments what do you think about this big reveal. Is it going to be a story mode or some new game mode or something else entirely? Grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. Do you think Reptile and Ashura are gonna kiss? Is that gonna be the big reveal? I'm just kidding, and I'm getting off topic. Next up, let's talk about story beats that are very likely to happen in this new expansion. Because keep in mind that there's one more very important thing the writer of Mortal Kombat 1 detailed, and that's the arcade ladder endings are all intended to be canon. That's right, every character from Sub-Zero to Reptile, Melina, all of them, their arcade ladder endings did happen. They're canon, which gives us a good idea of what might happen in Story Mode Part 2. Take Bi-Han for example. In his arcade ladder ending, he is starting the Cyber Lin Kuei, and as a result, it's very likely that these new cyber ninjas show up in Story Mode Part 2 in some way, shape, or form. And if that does happen, I kinda hope they're not mindless drones. Instead, I want it to be more like Cyberpunk, where the ninjas have cybernetic enhancements, but they're still their own person. They still have individuality, but they also have crazy cybernetic augments on top of that. Kind of like Ghost in the Shell also, right? If you want a different comparison. My point is, I don't want the Cyberlin Quay to be a generic hive mind like they've been in past games, mainly because the coolest part about Mortal Kombat 1 is the new era and trying new spins on familiar ideas. So even though I'm 90% sure the Cyberlin Quay is going to return in Mortal Kombat 1, I want there to be a new spin on it that makes it fresh and interesting. But since we're already talking about ninjas, how about Hanzo Hasashi? That's right, the original Scorpion. This character has a very high chance of appearing in Story Mode Part 2, and that's because this character shows up in Smoke's arcade ladder ending. In fact, he may appear in a couple of different arcade endings, but my point remains the same. Because all these endings are canon, it's very likely Hanzo could show up in Part 2, even if it's just in a cutscene. I doubt he's going to be a playable character, and I doubt you're going to fight against him as an NPC, but it is very likely he shows up in a cutscene and maybe even fights some people and kicks some butt, kind of like Madame Bo in story mode, right? He could show up and do something really cool, but he's not going to be playable in any way, shape, or form, at least not yet. And also, I think Story Mode Part 2 is finally where we're going to learn who assassinated King Jerrod, and also who blamed Li Mei for this incident happening. We learn in Tanya's ending that there's one big coup. It's all deception, right? Somebody framed Li Mei and they're in the ranks of the Umgadi, or it's somebody who controls the Umgadi. But why did they do this and who specifically set this all in motion? That would be really sick, and I bet we're gonna learn the answer in Story Mode Part 2. And speaking of King Jerrod, let's talk about Ermac, because I guarantee you, your boy Ermac is going to play a big role in Story Mode Part 2. And that's because he's gonna be a DLC character very soon, which means it's very likely that Ermac plays a major role in this new story. And I'm very excited because Ermac is just super interesting this time around. He's King Jerrod for the most part, but he's also harboring Sindel's soul, but he can also just go rogue and become regular Ermac too, where he's more of like a husk just doing his own thing. All of these different things are fighting for control in Ermac's mind, so he's kind of a wild card. He's unpredictable. You don't know what exactly he's gonna do, and I'm wondering if Havoc is gonna use that to his advantage, because Havoc is the lover of chaos, right? He's the Titan cleric of chaos. So if that mad lad learns about Ermac's existence, he's definitely gonna use Ermac to cause all kinds of nonsense and mayhem. And keep in mind, depending on when this story expansion drops, Ermac might already be a DLC character, which means it's very likely he could get his own entire chapter in story mode. And if that happens, I think it's going to be a NetherRealm first. I don't think Ermac has ever gotten his own chapter before, so that's going to be super duper exciting if it happens. But now finally, I want to talk about the aspect of Story Mode Part 2 that has me the most excited, and that's the preview of characters to come in Kombat Pack 2. That's right, I think it's very likely that NetherRealm is going to use this new story mode to tease the upcoming DLC characters, very similar to what happened with Quan Chi and Ermac in the original story mode, and also Chameleon too. These three characters were previewed in story mode long before they were playable, and I think something similar might happen in Story Mode Part 2. So we're talking characters like Jade, characters like Noob Saibot, right? Fan favorite characters that are rumored to be in Kombat Pack 2 might just make their debut appearance in the story mode. Now I don't think they're going to be playable, unfortunately. Anything's possible, but it's way more likely they're just going to be in the cutscenes, or maybe we'll get a chance to fight them as NPCs, once again just like Quan Chi and Ermac, but keep in mind their gameplay is going to be completely different. Just like it was with the other NPCs, a lot of people assumed wrongfully that Ermac and Quan Chi were already in the game and we're gonna have to pay for them. They're already playable, but you gotta pay for them. No. The NPCs in Mortal Kombat 1 were simply borrowing attacks from previous games like MK11, and then when they finally became available as DLC, their move lists were completely different. Not a single normal or special move was the same, which I think is a good thing because it means you paid for a brand new character. But my point is this: you could still fight Jade, or fight against Noob Saibot, or fight against, I don't know, Cobra or Kira, someone else that might appear in story mode, even if they're going to be completely different as DLC, or maybe they're never going to be DLC. That could also happen too. But now's the part of the video where I turn it over to you, the viewers, because as you all know, I love making these videos interactive attractive, so let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. What do you think is going to happen in Story Mode Part 2? But please, no spoilers. There's already been some spoilers from leaks in the comments section. Stop doing that. If you know what's gonna happen, keep it to yourself. But if you don't know what's gonna happen, what do you want to see the most in Story Mode Part 2, or what do you think is most likely to happen in Story Mode Part 2? Do you think the Cyber Lin Kuei is going to show up? Do you think Serena is gonna be a good guy and fight alongside Ashura? Do you think Tanya and Melina are gonna make out? Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. It really does help my channel out a ton. And then keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.